A lot of the times when people describe an Asian, they don't always mean an East Asian or a South Asian. Sometimes they mean, and this is usually in a crude way, but not always. Uh, they usually mean just uh, east of Europe. At least that's how the state sometimes sees Asians. Uh, there's more complex scientific reasoning out there for these sorts of body morphs, I suppose. But you can be like a European Asian. I don't know how to describe this. Like you can be from a certain part of Asia, and those genes are maybe more represented, or those genetics, I mean, are maybe more represented in your genetic coding, and you appear more Asian, even if you are white or black or another color or race. It's hard to describe, I guess. But yeah, like I'm a white, but I'm also sort of an Asian. At least as far as the word Asian can go. The word Asian is sort of... I'm using it more loosely in a way, I guess, but not really. It's more exactly too, you know? So I can't really say that I'm a Far East Asian except for potentially having Okinawan DNA. But I'm also referring to my, like, some people refer to this as Eurasian. It's kind of funny because it sounds like they're saying you're Asian. Like you are Asian, you know? But whatever. It's there's a region called Eurasia that some people use definitionally. And it's just the region between Europe and Asia. A lot of people also call that area the Eastern European, but you go somewhere else and they'll call it Western Asia, and then other people call it Eurasia to combine the two. It just depends on who you ask. Yeah, I've got those genetics, so probably Bulgarian and especially Okinawan. Like my Okinawan genes go back like a long time. I had to think this through to figure it out, but so I figure my great grandfather was Okinawan, went through China. I think I don't know if I got all the greats in there, but I just said a lot of greats. But anyway, he went through China to Scandinavia, impregnated a Scandinavian woman, and then died there as a warrior, I think. Probably. That's the most likely scenario based on what I know about myself. Anyway, and it even could have been a grandmother. It could have been a woman, but it might have been a man too. So it could have been my grandmother, my great-grandmother, or my great-grandfather that many centuries ago, when the Chinese dynasty that existed in that time was falling apart. The whole world was kind of falling apart. And the Scandinavians were taking in a lot of new people. Kind of like modern times in a way, but not exactly. So, yeah, you trace that back far enough, I've got, or it could have been this too. It could have been somebody from China, which is less likely. They would have likely died in China, who traveled to Scandinavia. It's just Chinese weren't as well accepted in Scandinavia as Japanese were, because Japanese have white skin and Chinese have yellow skin, sometimes white, but yeah, and the Scandinavians would have been particular about that. It just would have been harder to accept somebody who looks that different to them. But they also had people from Eurasia or whatever region you want to call that. So that's why they could accept East Asians, because those people were there and they were accepting of them in a way. In some ways, some people were. Anyway, so I find that very interesting. It took me a lot of thinking to figure that out. I also saw it in a video game, and it wasn't untruthful. I did a little bit of research. The Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there's Asians in that video game. And they're in Scandinavia. So those are descendants or people who migrated. Anyway. Where was I going with this? Oh, anyway, so yeah, I'm Asian and white that way. I definitely have some sort of Eastern or at least Central Asian genetics. It could be Chinese, could be Okinawan. I don't think it's Japanese, probably. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. I just say Okinawan usually to make a point, but yeah. And if you ask anybody who works for the state, I'm white. So that's what I got in America. Anyway, hope you found this video interesting. I hope you found it interesting. Yeah, hope it made sense to you. It's kind of hard to follow along with what I'm saying because I'm speaking kind of quickly, but yeah. Anyway, see you later.